Everywhere in the developed world, populations are graying. In 2007, Statistics Canada reported that more than half of those caring for elderly relatives confessed to feelings of exhaustion and depression from the stress of juggling children, parents, and career. For a year and a half, Shirley Roberts embraced a heart-wrenching caregiving dilemma. Her cry to God for help was effective. DORIS Inc. offers a business approach to caring for your elderly parents. Shirley, you were actually the primary caregiver for 7 years.
I was.
For your dear mom, Doris.
I was.
But it's that first year and a half that changed everything and now blesses many.
Yes, it was what I call my heart-wrenching dilemma. I was torn by my conflicted roles. I had a business in Toronto, and my mother was in Cobourg, and my brother was in Vancouver, and I found out the hard way that I wasn't taking good care of my mother. It broke my heart.
Your dad died 2002?
2002, yes.
And suddenly, I mean, within 2 months.
Within 2 months, she started getting Alzheimer's disease. And I had a call from the parish nurse from her church saying it's not safe for your mother to be living at home anymore.
Oh. Surely there is a connection. The grief, the emotional strain.
Yes,
is
absolutely.
A catalyst.
It was a catalyst for sure.
And it wasn't just Alzheimer's. Ultimately, osteoporosis, osteoarthritis, and heart diseases, plural.
Yes, she had a pacemaker.
Real declension.
Yes, she had chronic debilitating diseases which commonly afflict the elderly.
Before we unpack how complex this became, I love that the book starts with the story of your family, your mom and dad's romance. And
yes, yes, I thought that was the best place to start with where she was born, and I wanted people to get to know her. I didn't want to just write a dry book, a how-to book. I had a story to tell. It was in my heart to tell, and I was writing it. I was caring for her, and as I was feeling it, and that came out.
And something that you emphasize in the book is focusing on the positives, on the things they are able to do. You need to keep that picture in front of you as you are caring for someone who is changing so much.
Changing, yes, it's hard to see their decline. It's heartbreaking, and to realize you have no control over it. But yet, there's great highs when at each stage of decline, they can do things as independently as possible, and you can facilitate that and allow them to do that. There's great joy in seeing that.
I want folks to see a couple of pictures of your young, early childhood, and this is Mom and Dad. And that's you on the left, Shirley, and your brother David. And yes. Dad's name?
Ed.
Ed, yes. Ed and Doris.
And this is our 50th wedding anniversary, our parents' 50th wedding anniversary.
And how long were they married before?
Before?
But before your dad died, how long?
They had been married 52 years.
52 years. Yeah. It's a wonderful story. But as you point out, the crisis brought you into a life-changing situation. You had a very busy career.
Yes.
Media consultant. You actually ran your own consulting firm.
Yeah, I did. My business was in mostly research. So I had this ability to do research for elder care.
You were a consumer trend spotter, and this one hit you right between the eyes.
Yes, so my research background, and yes, consumer trend spotter. So my research background came really handy, and my brother and I both were all on the phone to the Alzheimer's Society every time we had a problem, and we were reading and all the way through learning what to do, because as business people, both of us, we had to develop a plan and sort out what to do. We couldn't just live in chaos, which was the first year and a half.
I've stolen a graph from your book, the one on the probable stages of elder decline. And it's helpful just to look at something that we don't think about until we have to often. And that's part of the reason you're campaigning so diligently to bring this help to us. You dealt with most of these stages, Shirley.
Yes.
Not assisted living.
Not assisted living, but I had the the challenge of convincing my mother to sell her house because it wasn't safe for her to do so anymore, and to move into a retirement residence.
First crisis.
First crisis, because she didn't want to move away from her home. So we did a trial run for a month, and in the middle of winter, so I convinced her to go there, and she came home threatening to never go there again. But by that time she'd met a wonderful lady, Betty Brown, who I called them Frick and Frack, and for the first, she was there 6 months, and they had a wonderful relationship, and I thought things would be great, until she broke her hip, her leg close to her hip, and never walked again.
She could no longer stay in
she could
that retirement
no longer
residence.
Stay in that retirement residence.
So now it's nursing home.
Now it was finding a good nursing home for Mom.
You know, everything we're hearing, and we're being reminded so much because of the boomer tide, we haven't prepared financially either for retirement. This is so comprehensive. Does this accommodate people of means, people of all means? Because it does become quite unaffordable.
It can, but that's why we need to plan in advance. What you don't want to do is wait until your parents can no longer pay their bills or when they start to run out of money. It's important to start planning in advance, and I put in the elder care costs in the book, so there'll be no surprises. We know what nursing home costs, what assisted living costs, it's all there. And you can start with their capital assets, and I have a capital depletion forecast there. You can figure out how long their money will last. And even on Wiley Canada's website, there is a capital depletion forecast. People can download and plug in their own numbers and figure out how long their money will last. So they can get the help they need.
You were, what did you call yourself? Solo firefighter?
I was a solo firefighter.
You actually label that as a response position, and there are people watching who have been and are the solo firefighter for their ailing parent or parents.
Yes.
That turned to something good because you cried out to God. It wasn't working. Your career was on hold.
Oh yeah, my career was on hold. I was trying to do focus groups, and then I had to rush back to Coburg because I was in Toronto, and my life was becoming a mess. And so yes, I reached out to God, and I found a way. I started using my skills, and we created something beautiful.
Your brother was far away, but you say we because he did become involved?
Yes, and in this communicative world we have with emails and phones and everything, he was so involved. He was involved in advocacy for my mother. He managed her finances, and he even participated in an annual care conference with the nursing home by phone, conference call. So someone has a family member is in another town or city or province, it doesn't matter. They can be just as involved. You just have to delegate responsibilities.
Yeah, you're going to have to, I mean, this, when I say comprehensive, it's all in here. But I just want to show you this graph. This is our Ivy Business School grad from Western. You see there's a game plan here that does involve a lot of people.
It does, because you need a team. One person cannot take care of a family member who is declining when they reach the assisted living and then dependent living stage. It takes more than one person. And if you get burnt out, and then you have no backup if you don't develop a team. But you also have, there's all kinds of resources around us in terms of government agencies providing home care, providing nursing care. There's neighbors, there's family, and the children of adult children can help. And I hired caregiver companions, and all we did, my father was a welder fitter. They didn't have a great means, but we just used their resources, and David invested their money to make more income. And we were able to hire these wonderful caregiver companions to go in 2-hour shifts and help take care of my mother when I couldn't be there. And we had this amazing, what I call Doris-centered culture. Everything was centered around her. And the nursing home became part of the culture too. And we all worked as a team. We all rolled up our sleeves together, the nursing home and these caregiver companions, and we were all centered on caring for my mother. And there was joy in it, to see her being happy again.
Psalm 139 says all the stages of our life are planned. But I've talked to many, and I'm sure you've been there too, who've really questioned this chapter of life. God, where is a good God in the erosion of a life? And as you have pointed out, and as the article points out, we're living longer, but we've got more chronic ailments. We're living longer in some cases miserably. It's a tough one. I wonder how did your faith hold through watching your mom decline?
Well, my faith got stronger because we kept finding ways to deal with my mother's crises. And these caregiver companions, we became friends, and we still meet once in a while now. After Mom has gone, we developed this bond, and I have this bond with the administrator of the nursing home, and it was beautiful. And there's a whole community in a nursing home that you become part of, because you don't have quite as much time for socializing with your girlfriends and things, but you develop this other bond. And caregiving can be joyous too. When you're not burnt out and stressed out, there's joy in it.
You say your priorities and values have changed because of this journey with your mom.
Absolutely.
I want you to read this. I think it's a really insightful, I'm not sure if it's your book or this article. It says, many seniors report only getting a visit once a month, if that, from a family member.
Yes. So this is
loneliness.
This is a prayer that I found a couple of years after my mother was in the nursing home. Dear Lord, I need you to help me. I feel so sad. I miss Ed, and I miss my house, and I find it so hard to adjust to everything that has happened to me. My children cannot visit me as often as I would like, and I often feel lonely. Thank you for my friend Betty. Please help me to hear better with my new hearing aids and to make new friends, and let me feel your presence with me every day. In Jesus' name, amen. That was in the words of my mother.
I bet that would echo the heart of so many, even watching today.
Yes, I had tears when I found it.
We need to value and respect and respond to the needs of our aging parents, friends. We're going to be there.
Yes, we all are. Absolutely are.
You have just been propelled, you say, by God to help seniors more.
Yes.
Tell us about your blog.
Well, I met some people at St. Elizabeth Healthcare, a large home care agency across the country, and they invited me to write a blog. I'm the main caregiver blogger on their website. And that started in January, and I've been writing blogs, and I've been helped by Christine Stewart there. She's putting nice pictures up for each of my blogs.
That's the St. Elizabeth Healthcare website.
Yes. So not only do I have a book, I'm now going further, and as I do speeches, I'm getting, people are coming to me with more questions and more concerns, and then I write more blogs about like how to deal with an obstinate mother or father, and so that one will be posted soon. So the journey continues.
Shirley, thank you for trusting God in a hard place and proving once again that He will always bring something good when we lean on Him. Dr. Roger Wong, clinical professor of geriatric medicine, University of British Columbia, wrote the introduction to this book. Other professionals have endorsed the accuracy of elder care information. I know you have more questions, so do I, but this is the book you will find helpful. It's comprehensive, it's available at our e-store. DORIS INC, a business approach to caring for your elderly parents. Well, of course, the ultimate accommodation is already being prepared by the one who knows you best, Jesus. The Apostle Paul had a glimpse of heaven. He was left for dead 3 times. He said, "No eye has seen, no ear has heard, no mind has conceived what God has prepared for those who love Him." Truly, the best is yet to come. And it's free for all those who have put their trust in Jesus Christ as their Lord and Savior.